Talk to me about what you think you're struggling with right now.
I think besides like just like tilting, like
Mm-hmm.
I think like more recently than before, like I'm just tilting a lot more,
Yeah.
and I think that's just making me play worse in the game because it's like I'm putting my energy into just being mad rather than just like thinking
Oh
about like
shit.
what I can be doing and like
Right.
playing the game better. And on top of that, I feel uh like I just swing a lot and just like try and
You
take
just
fights,
kind
and
of
I
you just
think
kind of fight, right?
yeah, and I think sometimes it's just like
So what
I'm forcing it rather than it
okay.
being like a good fight.
So what makes you like that's good analysis, but like why do you think you do that? Like what do you think derives you to first of all do that, and second of all think like why you're just taking fights are bad? Do you see what I'm asking?
Yeah, yeah,
Like where do you,
yeah.
what makes you think that?
I think one is like I think I have a lot of like confidence that like I'll just win the fight. That like even though it's bad, like let's say I'm like in a 5v3 situation, like I'll just keep like going for fights rather than just playing like the man advantage. And then I
Okay.
think that's also because of the agent I'm playing that like because like ISO
Playing ISO,
I
right?
don't know, yeah, 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 I've been playing like a lot of ISO.
Okay.
Before I started playing ISO I was just playing Clove, and like
That's who I've been
I feel
playing a
like with
lot, so I
these
get that.
agents I have like such an advantage in like just taking fights that I'm like, oh, I might as well just like,
Might as well just do it.
yeah, might as well
Okay.
just do it.
Well, that's not
And I
all
think
terrible because like
yeah,
first of all, if what you're saying is true that you have confidence, that's good. A lot of people just don't have confidence, so if you truly feel like you
mhm,
can win most of your fights, that's really good. But it sounds like honestly a simple fix on paper, right? Because like if you're just losing fights and or if
yeah,
you're just taking bad fights but you're confident in them, like you
yeah,
just need to put your brain in spots to realize where like we need to get you to understand where like better fights are, because the other thing that like I struggled with this for a while, right? Because I
mhm,
used to have like shitty mechanics. They still kind of are, but
yeah, yeah,
they were specifically bad for a long time there. And
yeah,
what I did to improve them a lot was just like I remember one time I watched a VOD and I was like really focusing on my aim, like really that was all I was working on, right? Because I had been IGLing
mhm,
and stuff for a while and I felt like I was lacking mechanically. I remember
yeah,
watching a VOD that I was like 2-10 on Icebox. And every
mhm,
single one of those fights, I really sat down and looked at. I was like, this is one of the worst fights I've ever fucking seen. And I didn't even realize it until I watched it back, right? So it's
yeah,
hard to realize that until you're actually thinking about it. And so what I started doing is being way more deliberate and like slowing the game down in my head, because it was natural
mhm,
for me to just like make the game like super fast paced, just because that's just what I did. It was my job to look at the map and make quick decisions, right? But I
yeah,
like used that as a tool to convince myself that that's what I had to do, and that's why my aim was bad. But it's actually not the case. I just was
mhm,
overthinking everything. I was just needed to slow down, and my mechanics improved a lot. And realistically, my
yeah,
aim didn't get a lot better. My I just everything got simpler, and my confidence improved, and that's why my aim got better, right?
yeah,
So it's good that you have good aim, but if we can get you to start taking actual better proper fights, then you'll have even better aim. And
yeah,
sounds like we're in for a fucking treat, right? So
mhm.
cool. So talk to me about this VOD. Talk to me about the first half. Let's start attack.
First half, I think at the start it was like going really well, like going really well as in terms of like how I was playing individually.
Okay.
I think like maybe I could have done something different to like have
Do you feel like
won
you had a
some of
good
the
first
rounds.
half? You
'Cause,
feel
like,
like your first half was solid?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I had
Okay.
a first like 6 8 rounds was looking really good, I
Okay.
think.
That's good.
And then I just kind of I think
Dropped
I
off.
started tilting into oblivion and like started taking bad fights, just like not aiming properly and such.
Okay. So you really feel
Um,
like you had a good start, and then you just the steam kind of got lost from getting upset, and it just derailed from there, basically.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let me just jump into it a little bit. I can tell you exactly what happened here. So they have pistols and shit, right?
Yeah.
And you have a fucking AK. So what fights do you want to take?
Long range fights.
Right. And you're the only one with the fucking the rifle. This guy's a guardian, I guess. But I don't know if this guy has a pistol. Yeah. So we have all of sight. They don't have shit to retake us really because they're on a save, at least hypothetically, right? And
Yeah.
we run long. Why do we run long?
I think in
What
my
is your
mind
brain thinking?
I was like, oh, trip just broke. I should like help
There's kills
fight.
there.
Yeah.
There's the fucking ranked duelist mindset. I love it. Good. So that's not good actually, but like I'm glad that it's like being affirmed. You see, and that's not a horrible idea, by the way. There's 3 players on site, right? There's only 1 long.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying this is necessarily bad, but I do think you're like, look, you're kill hunting, right? You just had a 3K. You're looking for it. It sounds like a good time to kill people. Cool. And so we flank, and we go look for our flank, right? But we end up in a position now where, oh, granted, your teammates are trolling. I want to put that out there, but we're not in a position to help anybody right here, right? Like you have a chamber with an outlaw, and you have 2 other players on site that are taking ones. Well, what could you do here to make this round a free win? Because here's another thing. Okay, let's slow down. Like if we have players on site that are taking 1v1s, are these the 2 you had? I think so. Like people are gonna do stupid shit. That's just what they're gonna do, right? But you can help minimize that by just simply being there with them. So I'm not super worried about this chamber taking this fight. This is a less stupid fight than this one, because this fight that the chamber's taking, he has a scoped weapon, he's long range. If he gets in a bad position, he can just back up, right? And we still have sight control. But if our dumbass Clove wants to run at them CT, well, if I'm standing here with my AK, I can get this trade and or just kill this guy entirely, right? See what I mean? Yeah. So this just comes down to a small map awareness thing. Like it's your teammates did troll this round, but you can prevent them from trolling by being in a better spot to help them. And that's one thing that's incredibly important at like Ascendant Immortal Elo, because most people are just doing what your brain thinks too, which is I have better aim, I can out aim these people, which is sometimes true, but that doesn't mean it's a smart fight, right? So he's just running at them. Next time, I just want you to like this is like you're almost like a zookeeper here. Like you got to deal with these animals on your team, and you gotta babysit them a little bit, and that comes with just either telling them to back up or just being there with a gun out, right? Same problem here. But okay, so this is fucking beautiful. I love this, because what did I say earlier? What's the problem right now?
I thought we're like pretty.
You said nothing to your team, and there's nobody behind you. Grant, you win this fight, cool. But when you take this fight, look who is behind you, and look who dies. Their team. Like that simple like little bit of tight spacing. If you waited an extra half second, everybody was tight with you. That's where the site was taken, not when you walked in by yourself with no util behind you. And how could we have easily done this shit like ahead of time? If you had simply sat here before the round started, say, hey, I'm sprinting into C site. They never play garage. I break the strip and run up every time. Reyna, I want you right behind me. Somebody run up fast C long with Clove. Like you're not really IGLing. You're simply telling your teammates what to do here. Or just slow down a little bit. Like you have this space for free quickly, which is great, but just slow down. And I'm like, imagine we had taken this fight with everybody behind us. Everybody gets traded, and they do, because everybody ended up being behind you, but we just needed to do that a little better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is a very good round to like look at. This is very important for you to see, because this would have been so much easier for, like, you probably wouldn't have even died there. You would have gotten your first frag, and then the other guys would have just killed the other person first, because there's 3 of them staring at him, right?
Yeah.
This is, once again, Autopilot just took full control. Like, I'm not, this is gonna sound mean, and it kind of is, but it's hard for you to look at yourself and really say, how am I losing these games when I'm seeing shit like this? You know what I mean? Like, this is a straight up W key, like with nothing behind us at all. And like, of course we're gonna just get shot in the fucking side, right? And all you simply need to do is just have somebody with you and have util with you, and just say that before the round starts. And it like, that's all. It's one simple change. Every single one of these rounds is totally different with that one simple change. This is just a very criminal example of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you like aren't obviously doing this every single round. Technically, you are at least having teammates behind you, but you see how horrible this is, right? Like, this is just this is a disaster class. And if this is coming from tilting, which it might be a little bit, like, you're not really giving yourself any sort of out to not tilt if you're doing shit like this. You know what I mean? All right, let's go on defense. You said you kind of were tilted at this point, or getting there, I should say.
Yeah.
But you see, like, why your kills went down, right? Like, we're just kind of running at them with no regard for what is actually going on in the round.
Yeah.
We just need to do a better job of keeping ourselves in check. And same thing, this is even more important on defense, I would say, is to talk to your person you're on site with as to how you want to play it. Like, what do you want to do with your Reyna here? If you guys want to just fucking scrap, go for it. Tell Clove to drop a deep smoke and fucking double swing short with a flash. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want, but like, do something. Instead of just like kind of sitting around like we're tapping out, we're not really focused, they end up running at us. Do you remember, did you hear what I just said? I was like, imagine if you'd call to smoke deep and double swing short with a flash. You guys are just railing these motherfuckers. Oh, yeah, but instead we're just taking a really, really bad 1v1. Or 1v3 basically. This is another example of like, you're just forcing shit at this point. You're just like, I want to take fights because my aim feels better than theirs, but like, these could be fucking bronze players, and if there's more of them looking at you than them, like, they're gonna hypothetically trade you. I don't know, it's not a real, like, you get what I'm trying to say though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
once again, this is the third round in a row we've had our knife out jumping around, not by our barrier with any plan. We just kind of end up just rotating with no like real reason of what's going on. We just used 2 of our best C retake abilities with no words. We just threw them on a random timing because fuck it, right? Do you see this? Like, what is this doing?
Nothing really.
Nothing, right? Why is it doing nothing? Yeah. Well, that's obvious because you can't do shit with it. You could try and spam, sure, but like we can't follow this up. So yeah. how could we use this a lot better? You don't necessarily have to comment, but
yeah, I can just combo with a Teho Molly.
Yeah, sure. Just wait till Reyna's here. Once Reyna gets here, say, yo, Reyna, when you're here, I'm decaying backside. Flash out. We're beating their fucking ass.
Yeah.
I don't care who this Reyna is. She's gonna listen, I promise. But instead, we waste our ability. We waste our Teho Molly. Our Clove takes a 1v1. We get redecayed back. We're getting flashed. You see how much of a disaster this is?
Yeah.
This is 4 rounds in a row. What's wrong?
I'm just like knife out.
We're just fucking around. Yeah. So this is good. I like seeing this because this is an easy fix. We just simply need more intention with what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But regardless, okay. Yeah, we could have already been back site, ready to combat this better if we wanted to, or we could have been waiting to fast retake. We could have been with our chamber. We could have been sitting right here where my mouse is, ready to play off our chamber. We could have been doing like 7 other things, but instead we're just autopiloted with our knife out, walking out, hoping they don't dart CP back site, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. See what I mean?
And I think it's after this round, I'm just like super tilted.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, fuck it. Like, I'm mad. Like, why are we losing? I hear you in your comp saying I'm getting full flash. We're just knife out. Yeah, once again, another autopilot. And we're just getting TP'd on. It's just a disaster.
Okay, that time I actually saw it.
Yeah, so this is where like theory crafting and like bettering yourself outside of the game comes in hand. Like, you can just sit here and think about how you want to deal with this. If we know that they're consistently darting, TPing with a flash, like, what should I do about it? I actually am curious. What do you think? With the chamber here, oh shit, let's do the fucking ally version. Chamber here, you're here. Where's this character at? Here we go. And they're doing all that util combo. What can you do to combat it? I'm just curious what you think of. Take your time.
Maybe I could like wait for a timing where it's after the flash pops. That.
So you want to take a timing when people are throwing every piece of util in the game. That's what you want to do? Bad idea. Don't like that. Is there a problem with retaking?
No.
No, not at all. But there's a problem with retaking if we don't talk about it, so yeah. That's one thing we could do. If we want to fight this, I'm cool with that, but like, we just need to have like a plan. I would even call 3 over here, like, hey, they're hitting C site consistently, like, let's triple stack this shit and beat their ass when they're walking to site. That's fine too. And then you can kind of just have, you know, say, Reyna, I'm playing anti-flash, just stare at the dart. If Yoru TPs, I'll kill him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a very simple idea, right?
Yeah.
So that's effectively finding a timing, like you said, but I know that's what you weren't thinking, so. But yeah, you get my point, right?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the consistencies I'm seeing, so what do you think? You see some of the shit you're dealing with. You see some of your problems.
Yeah. Now that I'm like watching it back, it's like.
Yeah, you're causing tilt. Like you're not setting yourself up to succeed. Basically, it's like you're just not putting yourself in a position ever to have fights that you should be winning, and you're still winning some of them because your aim's good. But you could be winning all of them. You could have ended this game just off this VOD alone. Imagine if every single round, or at least maybe most of them, you had played with your team better or called for utility. You would just have ended the game fucking 20-3 or something, right?
Yeah.
Because you took most of the ones you took, you won, except for the ones towards the end where you got tilted. But you should never be taking those ones in the first place. Because a lot of the times, for example, when you went C, the util was there. It just wasn't very tight. And like I said, it is good that you are following up the util and being ready to go in a ranked game because people aren't talking that much. It's not a set team.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. But it could be a lot better, and you can very easily make it better by simply saying that. Like I said, you don't have to IGL. If your team looks like they want a C split, just simply say, hey, Randa, come right behind me. We're W keying this.
Yeah.
Or Teo, can you drone this? I'm going to follow it up. Like, and just play according to what other people are doing. And that's just an awareness thing, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that you're doing across the board is just you're just not setting yourself up for success too much simply because you're autopiloting. Like, how many games do you play a day? I don't know how much you're like grinding, but let's just, on average. I know some days you might not play any, some days you might play like fucking a bunch, but like what was an average amount of games you play?
I think like 5.
Okay, so you're playing a good bit. Like, you're playing a lot.
Yeah.
I would reduce that to like 2 or 3 straight up and just make sure they're very deliberate and watch back some of those VODs and just look for, you don't even necessarily have to like try and look for super correct shit. Just look for where you're being intentional, because that's where I want you to start.
Yeah.
Once all your decisions become fully intentional, it's so much easier to get you on the right track. Does that make sense? Because once you're doing shit with intention, I can easily say this is right or wrong, and that's how you get better, because then you just improve your knowledge and boom, we're home free. Right?
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to even do that because you're not putting any intention behind your actions. You're just running around hoping to shoot people better. And like, we're not playing deathmatch. We're playing a ranked game, right? So.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good luck. Just message me if you have any questions, and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
All right.
this.
Yes, sir. All right. Later.